My timer starts now. I am doing 10 Sundance movies online right now, and I am going to try to watch them all here in 24 hours. The clock has started. Let's get this rolling. So, before we get started, I gotta talk about a controversy and something disappointing that has happened. We've had two Sundance movies, a documentary, and a fan award winner, Twinless, be taken off the online viewing platform yesterday because people are sharing it online and taking the stuff that you can watch for, the money we pay for to watch this very special film festival online and turning it into online social media content. And it is disappointing and it's upsetting, and it's why for this little vlog challenge, whatever you want to call it, how this is going to work is I'm going to be watching the movies and giving my reviews. It's not going to be much. It's not going to be any of me cutting to where I'm watching the movie and you're seeing my reaction to the movie, because we're not going to spoil anything that comes here in terms of sound, video, anything like that. Sundance is a festival for a bunch of independent filmmakers trying to show their work and potentially get bought by bigger studios. So when you release this content online, you hurt their chances, no matter how good the movie is, at getting studios to pick up their work. So it's despicable seeing people post things online, posting scenes online of certain movies like Twinless, getting those movies taken down, and it means this may likely never come back in the same way in the future. I'm happy that I'm able to watch these 10 movies today and have them, on demand, but in no shape or form is this going to ever replace these movies' content and show their content or anything like that. This is going to be a fun review / watching movies kind of back-to-back marathon where every time I come in, I'll be giving my thoughts on the movies. We'll have a progressive ranking from 1 to 10 as well, and I'll also give my ratings with my normal, diamond to bronze scale. And we'll just have a lot of fun with this. 24 hours, it's like 5:30 in the morning for me here on Saturday. I have Saturday and Sunday off, so I figured let's just try this now and see if we can get through it. And I'm excited. So I think the fun part about this is figuring out the order I'm going to watch it. And I figured to start this off, I'm going to start with a movie that I think is going to be pretty good. And I'm going to start with Two Women. This is the winner of the, the jury for writing for the World Dramatics Special. The movie here is about... this is the description of the movie. Winner of the World Cinema Dramatic Special Jury Award for Writing, Violet is having a difficult maternity leave. Florence is dealing with depression. Despite their careers and families, they feel like failures. Florence's first infidelity is a revelation. When having fun is a far down the list of priorities, sleeping with a delivery guy could be revolutionary. I'm looking forward to this. That jury writing gives me excited for this, and I will see you guys here at the end of this movie, but we can talk about it, give it its rating, and spoiler alert, it's going to be ranked number 1 because it's the first movie to watch. But we have taken 4 minutes to really talk about what I thought is a very important controversy to talk about, which is you can't show these movies online. This is so important for these type of, filmmakers that don't have backings of studios to be able to put their work out and to potentially be able to find actual people who buy and rank these movies. Luckily for me, I did not have Twinless. I'm disappointed in not Twinless because I know it was a fan favorite for the U.S. drama category, but it's not available for me now. And I can't believe people were putting it online without thinking and realizing the damages they were causing to the filmmakers, to the potential actors, and the chances of that movie getting picked up by another studio. Hopefully this, Twinless will still get picked up. but you just can't have this happen. It's just really upsetting, and all it's going to do is restrict the chances for people to attend and take part in the Sundance Film Festival, because a lot of times most of these movies don't end up getting picked up for theatrical runs. And there could be a lot of great movies in there, but I will see you here after Two Women, and we'll see how great this movie is. Alright, we just finished Two Women. This French-Canadian film features two women neighbors, kind of in little different ruts in their life, different points in their life, and kind of exploring their freedom, both sexually and just emotionally, to try and get past these kind of ruts. They're kind of mirrored by both their partners, and this was actually a really fun movie. I think it was a really, interesting angle on so many different things. Whether you're, Florence or Violet are two main characters, the women who aren't having really much success love life-wise, or wanting to have love life-wise with their husbands, and then getting a little bit, using infidelity to, spark their, what they would call, libidos. Karen Gauthier Heineman as Florence is my standout actress in this movie. Her character just goes through a lot of different emotions, a lot of different feelings, is able to have more range, but I think the little subtleness and coming out ofness from Violet, played by Laurence Leboeuf, did a great job in that character, who's somebody who's more reserved in the beginning to gaining confidence and being a more outward individual, and I think helping herself and her marriage towards the end of the movie. I think the movie itself also explores a lot of interesting ideas with both marriage, what it means to support each other as partners, as well as, what is some of the wrong things you can do as partners. Just really well written. I can see why it won the jury award for writing. I also think that there's a lot of great, fun, interesting commentary on antidepressants and the importance of them and how they can help people in this, but also maybe how they can harm and mute people as well. There's a lot going on in the background, little things here. The world is very well created. It's a very well made, just real world type feel. I would give Two Women a solid platinum rating. Great movie to start out my marathon of Sundance. And, this one here, we got averaged out. Let's see. We're just under 22 hours left to finish all these movies. So we'll move on to the next one here. But that's kind of exactly what I was looking for. Great movie to engage with starting out. I think had very good writing to it, get me, as I waking up, getting it engaged. And just a really, again, international filmmaking, with foreign language. I think you can find fun, good movies like this. And that's what I enjoy Sundance, I enjoy this channel about. That's what I like finding it about. Let's figure out what the next movie I will watch is. Okay. So I am going to choose to watch for my second movie Where the Wind Comes From. Alyssa, a rebellious 19-year-old girl, and her friend Mehdi, an introverted 23-year-old man, use their imagination to escape their unpromising reality. When they discover a contest in the south of Tunisia that may allow them to flee, they undertake a road trip regardless of the obstacles. Not even sure what this will feel like and what this will be like, but let's just go where the wind comes from here with the second movie. We are officially 20% of the way through. I just finished Where the Wind Comes From, a film coming from, another, foreign film, coming probably from Tunisia or somewhere around there, that follows Alyssa and Mehdi, family friends that are trying to find their place in the world and are dealing with the challenges of the world that surrounds them. Aya Balagaya as Alyssa is absolutely amazing in this movie. The amount of different ranges she pulls, the character that Alyssa goes on and trying to accept and unaccept where her life is at the moment, and the good and the bad with it, I thought was so expertly done by this young actress. And even Slim Bakar as Mehdi throughout the whole entire movie really, again, was a great foil and a great partner in crime to Alyssa as they're going on like a road trip to an art show, trying to show off Mehdi's art to find maybe a way to get into a better life. The emotional journey they go on just works incredibly well. Different barriers that you see Alyssa go through, and there's a few different scenes. There's one really, I think, powerful set of scenes in the middle of the movie that really just demonstrates the amazing acting from Aya and the powerful character and the journey that Alyssa is going through. The cinematography in this movie was gorgeous. I love sometimes more of these foreign films because you get to see what the world is like through different places. Seeing the world filmed in this way in an area of the world where, at least with Americas, you don't see very often. Like, it just has a beauty to it that you don't ever get a chance to see as much here with America. And the score worked really well. I like the Arabic songs playing in the background. This movie worked really well, really well for me, and I think it comes down to the chemistry that Aya and Slim had as Alyssa and Mehdi, and just Alyssa's character being one that I just think is very, very one that I personally maybe can connect to. I give this a full diamond. This goes to my number one spot on my Sundance list out of the two movies I saw. I thought it was spectacular. Something I never would check out if it wasn't for a chance like this, most likely, because I don't know it would ever find its way into my eyeballs or my peripherals. I just thought it was very outstanding, and I really liked the story and the characters and the journeys they went on and how they ended up. Really, really, really did like this one. Where the Wind Comes From gets that diamond rating for me. And we're going to be moving into another movie here in Sundance. We've done two dramas, per se. What can we do next? We're going to save Omaha for later. We're going to save Ricky for later. Let's watch Reigns Over Babel, which the talk about this one is a group of misfits converges at Babel, a legendary bar that doubles as purgatory, where La Flaca, the city's Grim Reaper, presides. Here, souls gamble years of their lives with her, daring to outwit death herself. This seems like a fun change of pace, and it's one that I've been looking forward to, so I will catch you guys out here once I finish the Reigns Over Babel. We are officially looking at here, that's the 24-hour period. We are officially 20 hours and 22 minutes left, so we're going to easily beat this challenge, obviously. But I might take breaks for lunch and, or for other things. We'll see. But so far, two movies I really enjoyed. And I'm looking forward here to see where Reigns Over Babel goes on. But I'll see you here once I finish this new movie. Alright. Reigns of Babel was extremely artistic, very flamboyant, really over the top and creative with a lot of the set design, the flair of it. It was unashamedly itself. And for that, I have to commend it because it was trying to be the exact movie it wanted to be. It was really, going into ideas of, religion, homophobic nature, dealing with death, a lot of different ideas. Between its characters, it tackled a lot of different ideas. I don't know if it was able to tackle all of those ideas as well for me personally. I feel like the movie has too many storylines going that it gets kind of lost. There's no real main character, there's no main real story. You get kind of nice ties up at the end, and it does a good job trying to bring everything together, but I feel like the characters, La Flaca, and even, our bartender, Bodico, I probably pronounced that so bad and wrong. They just kind of felt like the interesting people I wanted to follow through in this movie, and they became not the characters you see throughout. Even our narrator, per se, Ertos, you didn't get very much of their perspective and where their things are. You kind of get lost in a few different stories, and some of those stories are compelling, and some of them, I feel, are a little bit lacking. It's not a bad movie at all. It's well put together. It's well made. The cinematography and the lighting is great. It really does flush out a lot of great, just, practical style stuff with the set design and your craft type categories. The acting in it was fantastic throughout. I just think, outside of the pasture and his son's story, I feel like much of this movie kind of was just flowing a little bit too much and not finding its path as much. I think if you like Reigns of Babel, you're really, it's speaking to you, and it's a movie more that you'll enjoy, especially like the artistic flamboyance and very ambitious filmmaking. But for me, this gets a low gold. I admire all the hard work that went into it. I think the acting was phenomenal. I think its messaging, for the most part, was pretty well done. I just think they had too many stories, and it kind of loses track of what's going on. I don't know if you heard that. This was a big motorcycle sound, but what was going on in the movie. And that's okay. I think movies are going to be for people. There's going to be people who think that this might be their favorite movie of the whole entire Sundance Film Festival. For me, we'll see where it ranks, but right now, out of my 3, it's number 3. But that doesn't mean it was bad. I enjoyed watching it. It just, I felt like the stories were a little bit too divergent and a little bit over the place, and didn't really have too many clear finishes in some ways. But we will move on to my next movie. I've had 3 foreign films to start. I think I'm going to try and find a movie that is English speaking. So let's go ahead. We'll do Sunfish and Other Stories from Green Lake. Lives intertwine around Green Lake as a girl learns to sail, a boy fights for first chair, 2 sisters operate a bed and breakfast, and a fisherman is after the catch of his life. That'll be the next one, and I will see you when I finish watching that movie later on. I just finished Sunfish and Other Stories from Green Lake. And that was exactly why I put this movie here, because it was just a fun, easy, palatable change of pace. This anthology movie gives us 4 different stories around what is Green Lake, Michigan. Really just enjoyable overall. You have a lot of different themes and a lot of similar themes about expectations, family, things you can do, in around like a lake or small town. It sandwiched together of these 4, anthological stories. I think 2 of the better ones. Our first story is, a daughter being dropped off on her grandparents' house, and, doesn't appear to have a great mother who, that I think she really longs for and really, really wants. And her kind of eventually connecting with her grandparents and kind of loosening up and seeing some of the bright spots in life. Definitely was a really good start. And then you had it blend in with the young son who's expected to be a musical prodigy talent going into a music camp, his mom leaving him off saying like, hey, you're not here to have fun, you're here to be first chair, and him dedicating all that time to that. And just after the auditions come for first chair, you see what happens with that scenario. That wasn't a bad short story. It might be the weakest of the three, but it definitely leaves its own impact. Then you have a fisherman chasing after a catch of his life, and that is probably definitely the weakest of the three. Him and a lady go on that adventure together, and then really ending with the two sisters who operate a bed and breakfast. That was the best of these four anthology series. The chemistry these two sisters had, just that emotional bond as the older sister is getting ready to leave for college, and they kind of operate a bed and breakfast, in their home together while their dad works. It was very, very good. I wasn't sure how I was going to rate this through. I think this is the type of movie I would love seeing picked up on like a Paramount Plus. I think it could do well there. I think more small town individuals would love a movie like this. Something easy to watch. You're not watching to do anything more than just to enjoy different parts of life and the different parts of beauty of life. The good and the bad. And I just think Sunfish and Other Stories from Green Lake was just a pleasant watch and a pleasant film to take part in. I'm happy I put it on my list. It's not going to be, I think, anything outstanding, top tier, perfect, but I think it does exactly what it needs to do, and it was just a great time. I would give this probably a very low platinum rating from me. I think just about anybody can watch this and enjoy it. And I, would have it right now ranked 3 out of the 4 movies I've seen so far. And like I said, this one was probably ended up being a surprise. That I was leaning towards like higher gold, but the last story between the two sisters who did the bed and breakfast was so well put together, and their acting was so well done, especially of the younger sister. Just really strong connections and great feelings. I'm bumping this up to a platinum, but definitely that like kind of change of pace after 3 international films, especially the last one being very flamboyant and artistic with The Rains of Babel. It's nice to kind of have a change of pace, good palate cleanse. I've got to make it through this, because if we're looking at my time here, well, where are we at? We have 16 hours and 47 minutes left. So I still got 6 movies to go through. I have something else I need to do here probably in an hour and a half or so. So I got stuff going on. So we're going to have to get into our next movie, which I'm going to choose to do. Let's see. We're going to do Bunnylovr. This is what I've been looking forward to. So I'm going to do Bunnylovr right now. That'll be the next one. And then that'll take us to the halfway point where we have Deaf President Now, By Design, Bubble and Squeak, Ricky, and Omaha left. So Bunnylovr, you're gonna be the capper of our first half. Look forward to seeing you guys with my thoughts of Bunnylovr at the end here. I'll see you when I get done with that movie. Alright, just finished Bunnylovr, and Catherine Zhu writing, directing, starring in this movie as our main lead, Rebecca. I think did a very good job with this movie. I think it is a lot more subtle and delicate when it comes to the pressures of, say, females in certain situations. I think her rekindling with her father was some interesting character building for the character of Rebecca. Throughout the movie, maybe I feel like the links in the story wasn't fully realized on all levels perfectly well, but I really much enjoyed this movie. I think there's a lot of disturbing things when it comes to certain characters Rebecca interacts with and their feeling of power over her, and her feeling the need to allow them to have the power and even in situations where she doesn't feel as she might be safe or right, she just like the power dynamic is so unbalanced and I'll say unfair, but definitely was one of my most anticipated movies coming into the Sundance watch along that we're doing. And I definitely think it did a good job with its entertainment. Like I said, I really enjoyed the performance from Rebecca in this role. I think she also did a good job directing and everything. I'd give this a solid gold rating. And as far as my first 5 movies we've watched, I would slot this in at number 4, but I think this is the type of movie that when you sit on it and the amount of time you have in chewing, it could really get better. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Bunnylovr. I have a little bit of a break here where I'm going to be doing another video for the channel. But at the halfway point, we are 15 hours left, so we have time to spare. 5 more movies left. I think Bubble and Squeak might be what I do next. We'll see. It's either going to be that or Omaha. Those will be my next 2 movies, but yeah, I am enjoying this whole entire watch through so far. Feel like we're getting at least a different variety of movies, different type of stuff. I'm happy I picked it that way. I didn't get too many movies feeling the same type of stuff. We have an anthology movie so far, movie, a young adult adventure type movie that we did already, which has been my favorite, is Where the Wind Comes From. You had Reigns of Babel being your very artsy, showy movie. And then we had, Bunnylovr being, more of a character drama. Two Women is kind of a character drama, but I don't think it's anywhere near the same as what Bunnylovr ended up being. So I'm very happy with my selection so far. Looking forward to see where this goes the rest of today. But I'll see you after my next movie. 6th movie down, and it was Omaha. This was a very kind of sad, powerful, simple but well put together movie that, until the final credits, you really don't understand what you understand what the movie's about, but now you really understand what the movie was about and what the father was doing this whole time. The dad played brilliantly by John Magaro. Man, it's just sad. It's just a very sad movie. But yeah. His young daughter played Ella, played by Molly Bell Wright. She was absolutely fantastic. I'm not even sure how old she was, but absolutely fantastic in the movie. Her chemistry with her father and their younger brother. This is just a very somber, powerful movie. Very sad. And when you understand why the movie's called Omaha and why they're going to Nebraska, I think it just adds the whole layer to the movie, the whole complexion of the movie. And it really is just a showcase of John Magaro's acting skills. And this just very troubled family situation. I'm going to give it a good platinum rating on my Sundance scale. It is my second highest ranked right now, 2 out of 6. Just because of the pure great acting from, Molly Wright and John Magaro. And, I knew this wasn't going to be a movie that makes me feel good. But it's one that I'm happy that I got to watch. Next up for me is going to be Bubble and Squeak. So I will see you when I'm finished with that movie. Just going to have to take a palate cleanser here for a few minutes because Omaha, that was dark and that was very sad. But sometimes you need a movie to make you feel that way to make its point. And Omaha certainly did. Alright, Bubble and Squeak. This movie was like a child of Taika Waititi and Wes Anderson. A couple, maybe or maybe not, sneaking cabbages into a country that has no cabbages allowed. it was funny, charming at first, but it's not the type of movie that works for me humor-wise. I would say about after an hour or so, it just kind of stopped connecting to me. If you're somebody who likes the Taika Waititi, Wes Anderson style of movies, you definitely would be wanting to check this out once it becomes available, because I think it fits right your style. The production value is really nice. The comedic value there is consistently going, but maybe it's because I just am not in the mood for that type of movie today or not. This was probably easily my least favorite movie of Sundance. I would give Bubble and Squeak a silver rating. I understand it's a film. It was well made for the entire way it was supposed to go, but it was not the type of movie that I'm in the mood to enjoy at the moment, and it was not something I found that enjoyable. It's the type of movie where I think you'll know if it's the type of movie you want to see, and otherwise, it just feels like it's dragging on for a while. So, yeah, that's going to be my 7th spot overall. We have Deaf President Now next, and then we'll finish it up with Ricky and By Design. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Bubble and Squeak. I will see you here after the Deaf President's movie. Alright, movie number 8 down. This is the only documentary that I had on file, Deaf President Now, and it really tells a story of 1988 where only Deaf University was expecting to get a member on their board, and it didn't happen, and they had to kind of have a huge deserving angry mob, during a time where people, even deaf people, were not looked upon in a fair light. And this was a really fun documentary. Maybe fun's not the best word. This is a really inspiring, great documentary. I felt really engaged with this throughout. I think the storytelling worked really well. I think it's so interesting to see what the world was like back then. And to know how, you obviously can liberties with the direct, whoever's doing the storytelling here. But knowing that even in 4 days they were able to change the decision around and get somebody who is deaf like themselves to be represented in the university is an extremely inspiring, good thing. Fun watch. I don't know. I'm sure it'll get picked up somewhere. Something that I think if you want like this type of content whenever it's out there, go ahead and check it out. I give it a solid gold rating. Deaf President Now. It would be my number 6 of the 8 movies I've ranked so far, which would leave us with 2 movies left. We have Ricky, which is a movie that is about newly released after being locked up in his teens. 30-year-old Ricky is navigating the challenges of post-incarceration. And By Design, which is a woman swaps bodies with a chair, and everybody likes her better as a chair. Now, Ricky won for Best Directing Award at the Sundance Film Festival for the U.S. Dramatic category. I'm going to leave that one for last, because I think I need a little pep up. I need a little bit less drama. I am not lying when I say I am struggling here. We got 2 movies left, and I got the 4 hours and 35 minutes. I did a couple things. Earlier I did the one video for, you can see the link here for my esports coverage for the team. And then I spent time just talking with friends, before Bubble and Squeak. So I could have probably been done now, obviously, if I didn't do either of those things, but we are in the home stretch, and we'll see if we're able to make it. I think By Design is a movie I've been so excited to see because of that, just the chair switching component, that I think it'll give me some life, and then I'll be able to finish it out with Ricky, and then I can just go to sleep and pass out for a little while, take a little nap before I wake up with daylight. But yeah, I'll see you here after By Design. And we'll see if I also like the woman better as a chair. Thank you, anybody who's been watching these videos. This has been a fun little video thing to do all today, and a fun challenge. And I'm just, 4 hours and 34 minutes left. Every movie's been under 2 hours so far, so if these movies are both 2.5 hours, then I have failed this challenge. I'll see you later. Alright, By Design. This is one of the ones I was looking forward to because it just seems like a really interesting design. A woman swaps bodies with a chair and everyone likes her better as a chair. I was entertained for the first part of this movie, but this kind of like Reigns of Babel just had the issue of it being too many stories per se and not honing in on just the one basic thing. Wasn't a bad movie per se. I think it's a perfectly fine, okay time, but it did lose a little bit of my interest and kind of became a little bit too abstract. And maybe it's because it's 22 hours into this, 23 hours into this, you have these issues, but I'm not upset that I saw this movie. I think it's a perfectly fine movie. I'd give it a silver rating. I think that puts it near the bottom of my overall Sundance list at the moment. Maybe number 7 or number 8, somewhere around there. I just felt that it had a fun concept. I liked the 3 friend groups, but we kind of lost that friend group into a different story, and there wasn't much being added to that other story. So that's why I'm giving it a silver. I still think it was a fun movie. I'm happy I got to see it, but didn't live up to what I thought it might be, but that's okay. Inspired filmmaking, nothing to critique too terribly about that. But we're moving on to our final movie, Ricky, and I got just under 3 hours left before we hit my 24-hour mark. As we can see here. So we're going to watch Ricky, give my review on Ricky, and then come up with that full 10 list of all these movies ranked, and just give my overall thoughts on doing this for the first time with Sundance. It's been a long day, but we're getting through it, and I've had a great time. So I'm going to check out Ricky right now, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up after Ricky, and we'll see where the U.S. Drama Best Direction movie fits on my list overall. Well, 23 hours after I started on this 10-film Sundance adventure, finally got there, finished Ricky, and what a finale this was. Stephen James as Ricky, outstanding, just work by him. A character that you feel for, a character that you can be angry with, but also understanding of. Directed by Rashad Frett. This was a great overall movie, and it really shows and gives you a picture into how difficult it can be for people. I imagine, I can't say I don't know myself, but I can imagine people who coming back out of prison and finding their way back to society and life, the difficulties of finding a job, the difficulties of needing help from others, and others maybe not willing to help you, and what that can cause, the stress and guilt you feel like you're putting on others, trying to build relationships back up. Ricky really went into all those themes and more, and just was an outstanding movie. Sad at times, happy at times, but just an outstanding movie. I don't want to say anything more, because I do think this Ricky should be a movie that's picked up and gets put out in theaters, and it is one I think people May not come out of it being like I enjoyed it, I had a good time. It's not escapism, it's realism. It's tackling issues that are uncomfortable sometimes to tackle. But if you're willing to open yourself up and tackle that, that journey and think about those issues, Ricky really does an amazing job at that. I see why it won in direction for Sundance. It probably had the biggest directional scenes of any of the 10 movies I've seen today. Just outstanding. I mean, it's getting a diamond from me. And in fact, when we're breaking down my Sundance top 10, with the way the movie was able to end and land, I'm giving Ricky the top spot. So my order will go number 1, we have Ricky. Number 2, we have Where the Wind Came From. 3, Omaha. 4, Two Women. 5, Sunfish and Other Stories from Green Lake. 6 is Bunnylovr. 7 was Deaf President Now. 8 was Reigns of Babel. 9 was By Design, and 10 was Bubble and Squeak. And my journey throughout here with the Sundance Film Festival, first time ever doing this, is it's very clearly this is a lot more experimental work being done. There's a lot more people giving their first chances in films that are more passionately driven. That's just from my personal experience here. I loved every second of covering all 10 of these movies. I love even the ones that I, gave lower ratings to. Particularly like, the, Reigns of Babel, By Design, and Bubble and Squeak. I still enjoyed watching those movies. This is why I like doing this channel. This is what I really like about going into movies, is seeing all these different visions and artistic ideas and things. We saw movies that were Spanish speaking, Arabic speaking, French speaking. We had somebody have the concept of being a chair. We had, a bunch of short stories anthology about a small town lake in Michigan. We had this movie, Ricky, about, the struggles of somebody who's incarcerated, on parole, getting back into the life force, getting back to life. So many different movies you got to see, people smuggling cabbages in a cabbage, in a cabbage outlaw country. Just so many variety of movies. I'm really happy with the batch I picked. I don't feel like there was too much crossover in any of them, and it really was a fun time here. But it's almost like 4 o'clock, and I'm hoping I can get some rest before the sun comes out and I get stuck not being able to fall asleep. But tell me your thoughts if you watched any of these Sundance movies in the comments down below. Let me know if any of these catch your eye based off the review. If you like this type of format where it's like, hey, more of a vloggy, butt jumping act. And again, we're going to end this off with the people who went out of their way to post images and videos on Twitter of the Selena documentary and the Twinless movie. That is not okay. This is a film festival that is not trying to proposition Oscar contenders. It's not a bunch of studio movies being pushed out. Almost all these movies are independent movies that are looking to be picked up by other studios, and sharing clips and sharing things from online stuff is just not okay in any sense of the imagination. And to see 2 films have to be taken down because of that, and what it could cause for future situations. I mean, Sundance is in Park City. It's in Salt Lake City. Not many people are able to go to it. I even live in Idaho. I'm not able to go with it. I had a chance here, thanks to a Christmas gift, to take part in 10 screenings online, and I enjoyed it. But I don't know if I have that chance next year, because people went out of their way to share stuff that they had no business to share. I can't wait to see where these movies go. I'm going to try and keep track of them and some of their filmmakers. And see what else came out of Sundance that maybe I missed that wasn't available online. But yeah. It's been a long 23 hours, and I loved every second of it. Like and subscribe for all the Oscar coverage. I do other stuff on the channel here. Survivor starting back up soon. You have The Traitors, other stuff going on. But this was a fun time. I really enjoyed Sundance.